Hey YouTube, Bowman Reloading here again. Sorry it's been a while. We've been a little bit busy here between the weather and work and hunting and just everything. It's been a busy time frame. I haven't had a chance to do very much. The last thing I really got to do was me and my boy went out and shot my first deer rifle a little bit. My 25-06. Nothing too fancy, but hopefully tomorrow, if not Saturday, we're going to go out and get him a doe. It'll be off of a mentor tag. I'm excited for it. I'm hoping I can get it on video and everything. I picked up a GoPro that'll mount up to my rifle scope. It doesn't mount up very well to my 7 PRC on that Golden Eagle. I can't get it to focus very well. But on the 20 Practical, it mounts up to that one really well. So I'm hoping I can get his first doe on video. I'm hoping next year we can get him on a buck tag, which I can kind of cheat a little bit on that as far as the buck tag aspect, because I mean, I'm married into a ranching community, so I can kind of claim landowners on pretty much all of that. But I'm pretty particular on the deer that I shoot out here. I wait and let them grow as needed. I shot a pretty nice whitetail last year, and I'll see if I can find pictures of it. It's on my other phone, but I'll see if I can get a picture of it. And then I shot that antelope this year, and I was ecstatic about that. It wasn't a huge antelope, but my first one, I was happy with it. But anyway, we're loading up some 20 Practical. It's 223 neck down to 20 caliber. I don't have that gun dialed in all the way yet. I mean, it's zeroed for 100 yards. You could shoot coyotes at 100, 200, 300 yards, no problem. But I do not have it dialed in the way I want to quite yet. It's been too windy. I haven't had a chance to go out and shoot. I'm hoping this weekend I can get it out. Coming up here, end of the month, roughly, there's a coyote calling competition for youth, and I'm going to get my youngest into it. He did it last year. We didn't have a shot at all on anything really, and I didn't have a good setup for him at that point either. But I'm hoping that this year we can actually get him on a dog. I think he will fall in love with it. I think it'll be one of the best things for him. He won't be able to do the entire competition. He has to go with his mom for the weekend. It's her visitation. So I'm kind of interrupted a little bit. I'm going to talk to the guy that puts the competition on and see if he can, I don't know, do something special. I couldn't tell you. I haven't talked to him yet, but I need to. He's a damn good guy. But I understand that he's busy as well, just like everybody. It's been kind of exciting around here lately. A couple fires around the area. We had a bale fire start because our distillers caught our bale on fire. I wasn't here for that, but the wife was. I was in town at work. And yeah, it's just been a busy and fast-paced couple of weeks since I've kind of actually done anything. But we got that 25-06 hitting really good. I'm confident he can shoot out to 300 yards and hit what he's aiming at. We got it shooting pretty good. And he's not a terrible shot. He's pretty dedicated to it. He's not very quick, which I'm not. I'm pretty slow on shooting. There we go. Caught a kernel. I'm gonna have to clean my pan off after that. I'll show you what happened. It caught a kernel in the middle of the rotation. This is the first time I've had it happen, but I've seen it happen before. And we'll just take the top off of it here. I love this thing though. This is the best setup I've ever had. It's kind of gifted to me, and oh, I'm gonna make a mess here. So yeah, it just threw a bunch of kernels everywhere. Mainly because my hand bumped it and whatnot, but clean it off, get everything put back in place. Okay, it should go back to 0. Voila. I understand not everybody has the money for it, and I didn't either. I bought a cheap $100 digital scale off Amazon. That was my first scale that was accurate. Now I have a RCBS manual scale, and you can get it as accurate, but you got to be extremely diligent. You have to watch your P's and Q's. It is not a simple task. The electronic one I picked up, I used it for a long time. It takes a long time to get it where you want it, but once you do, it runs really good. This one though, the FX120i, if you can pick one up, I got this secondhand from a guy locally. They are the best scale. They're not the best scale. There's better. They're the best scale I can afford. I highly recommend them. And then the auto trickler that I have it paired up to, like I said, that was a family friend on my wife's side. I don't even know the gentleman too well. I shouldn't even say a family friend. It is my wife's cousin in a sense, and he wasn't using it because he upgraded to the newer version, and he gave me, I believe this is a version 3. I don't know exactly. I think it's a version 3, and it's just the trickler. And I don't trickle everything. I'll use my powder thrower for my bigger stuff, but I can sit here and kind of BS with you guys while I'm doing this, and it doesn't take any time at all. My cousin, he has an RCBS Link, and he really likes that. But I guarantee you his Link is not anywhere near as accurate as this. But for what he does, it's more than enough for everything he's into. And you don't need a setup like this to load 223 or 20 practical like we're doing here. You can use you can just use that off of a balance scale. I mean, really, with this, I mean, I've completely loaded that up. You could just fill that cartridge and put a cap on it and call it a day. For my gun. For my gun. You can't do that for every gun. You gotta find out what will actually work for it. And again, I was a little hot. I wasn't outrageously hot, but I was a little hot. But yeah, load and go. My father-in-law's triple deuce is 222. Same thing. You could just scoop off a load of it and put a bullet in it and call it a day. You can't overcharge it. Not every gun is like that. Now, I don't know what actual seating depth I need these to, right? Like I'm loading these long. I just want them loaded. That way they're ready to go and I can adjust the seating depth later. I still have to do a seating depth test I haven't gotten around to it because it's been windy every time I've tried to go out to the gun range. That or I just have not had time. I'm gonna post a couple of little short videos with this on that hunt I went on down in Fairburn, and it was fun. I had a good time. A lot of walking though. I probably put on 50 or 60 miles for the week that I was down there. Walking. It's all walking. It's still a good time. Good camaraderie. Nowhere near what it used to be like when I was a kid. I hope at some point we can bring all that back. But still, good time with friends and family. And I hope we can do it again next year. Maybe not necessarily down in Fairburn because it was pretty packed. There was dozens of vehicles down in that area, and we didn't see much of nothing. I think I said I seen 2 or 3 whitetails that were a potential shooter, but they weren't anything like what I already have on the wall. So there ain't a whole lot of purpose for that. Just wait and shoot a doe, you know. And a lot of people say, well, that's wrong. Well, I don't think it is. I think your doe population has more to do with your buck population than you have anything that you can shake a stick at. I think having too many does is detrimental. I'm hoping, well, I don't have a big deer population out here, but I'm hoping down the road I can kind of manage it a little bit. Put some food plots up and actually manage the deer population that we have and get some good shooters out of it. I know that's hard. We're not surrounded by public, but we got a good bit around here, and we have a lot of other people that live around us that do some paid hunting, which that's not a bad thing. I'm not knocking that at all. At some point, I wouldn't mind doing it, you know, but we don't have the deer population for that. Not unless I'm just charging for people to go shoot a doe or a spike buck here or there, and I don't think that's right. My wife did let in a couple of outside hunters, father, daughter, and they ended up shooting a doe here, you know, not too far from the house. So no, we got deer hunting here, but it's not deer hunting like I'm used to. It's not deer hunting like what I grew up with. Still a good time though. I'm hoping tomorrow or Saturday we'll go out, and my oldest son James, he'll get his first doe. I can't get over how much I love this auto trickler though. It's easy, it's simple. One of the things I did with it is I just put a Sharpie mark on the handle for it. That way you can kind of see as it's turning, you can tell how fast it's turning. You can't always tell whether or not it's moving. You can hear it. I mean, it makes noise. But yeah, best investment I've had. I got too much stuff invested in guns and reloading. But it's a hobby. I enjoy it. Just wish I can get out and actually go hunting more often. This year is the first year I've actually taken time off for going out and going hunting. I was going to about 2 years ago. I scheduled time off from my job. I was going to take the mornings off and go to work in the afternoon. But we hit a point where ran out of powder. We hit a point at my job where I just didn't quite see eye to eye to them, and they didn't want to oblige what I was asking, and it was a fairly serious deal that I wasn't happy with, and I put in my notice, changed jobs. I don't necessarily recommend that for everybody, but if you're not happy where you're at, you got to make a choice. You got to make a change. And I wouldn't say that job was a bad job. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot there. I met a lot of really nice people. I think everywhere you go, you can pick up on stuff and learn stuff from others. It doesn't mean you have to put up with stuff. It just means that you can learn from them. The place I've been at for the last couple of years, I enjoy it. I think they take care of me for the most part. I can do just about anything they ask me to. I might need a little bit of guidance here and there, but it's pretty simple. And I know I'm just kind of rambling right now, but I just wanted to go through, get some of these loaded up, tell you kind of what's coming down the tube here with the hunting with my oldest and trying to get his first doe, and then my youngest with that coyote calling competition. Yeah, that GoPro that hooks up to my rifle scope, that's kind of a cool deal. I know quite a few people have already seen the video of me shooting those 2 coyotes. And that was with that 7 PRC. It did not do much damage to them whatsoever. It just punched a hole clean through them. It didn't expand almost at all. I ended up having to shoot both those dogs twice. 350 yards, gigantic muzzle brake. They ran right to me, or the second one did after I shot him. The first one was basically dispatched, but he was still alive. I ended up having to shoot him again, and I ended up shooting that second one again too. It ran within 50 yards of me and went up a different draw. I got him to stop out there at about 350 yards again, and I hit him again and put him down. He ended up getting back up and running off, but all right, so not to change the subject too much, but these 2 here I set off to the side. I'm going to shoot them. I'm just going to use them for sighting in my rifle a little bit, but the primers are a little bit disformed. I didn't like them. They're not going to be my main load by any means, but I am going to load them and shoot them. When I was getting my seating depth kind of figured out and everything, maybe I can't get them back out of there. When I was getting my seating depth figured out though, I had a couple of rounds that I was using for testing my seating depth. I'm going to load them in there and shoot them. They're nothing fancy. They're dinged. They're dented. I mean, they're basically useless. But it'll help me warm my gun up to get it sighted in. They're not completely worthless, but they're not going to be worth shooting it at anything that actually matters. That went over a little bit too much. All you gotta do is dump a little bit out. It'll sense that it's a little low, and it'll top it right back off again. And it still went over. We'll dump some more out, and it'll run a little bit more. .02 under. I mean, that's a kernel. You can't complain about that. At one point in time, I would worry about that. And depending on what it's for, I still might worry about it. Don't let me kid you. But for everything that I'm doing here, I'm not going to worry about it. So yeah, last round here. I'm really hoping I can get out and do some shooting and get it on film for you guys. Get some groups out there. But yeah, just been busy. Life happens. This YouTube deal, it's just my way of giving back, you know. Like I think I have like, not quite 70 people or not quite 80 people that actually follow my channel. And this is how I learned it. Almost everything that I know is by getting on the internet, finding somebody that's done it, and teaching myself from their experience. And I apply that to everything, not just reloading. Everything in my life. If it's on the internet, I can figure it out. I can do it. Well, I hope this wasn't too long of a drag for anybody. But yeah, roughly 15 rounds, 17 rounds. It goes by pretty fast. And it would go by a lot faster if I was actually dropping powder. But I kind of wanted to just kind of BS a little bit and go from there. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much. But there should be some good stuff coming. So thank you. Bye.